Well, guys, I officially graduated. Over the past 4 years, a lot of people have asked me questions about NYU Shanghai and what it's like and if it's worth it. So now that I'm officially done with this school, I can finally answer everyone's questions and kind of tell you guys things I wish I knew before I came here. So let's get into the video. So, one of the first questions that I get asked normally when they find out what school I went to was why I chose NYU Shanghai to begin with. And honestly, I don't think I'm the best person to be asking this question to because I originally just wanted to go to an American university, live a traditional college experience, and kind of be done with it. And then all of a sudden, I get an acceptance letter from NYU saying, congratulations, you've been accepted and you are going to the NYU Shanghai campus. And so I was a little weary, but it honestly felt like an opportunity I couldn't pass up because who doesn't want to be 18 in a new country by themselves and, experiencing their culture firsthand, having so many adventures. So I committed, and I still remember getting off the airplane in 2022 in China, being faced with quarantine and, COVID and all of these restrictions. And it was honestly really overwhelming, but for me, it was overwhelming in one of the best ways possible. And it honestly, one of my favorite memories, just, finally meeting the people that I've only really talked to online and getting to know them and making new friends. It's honestly something I wouldn't trade for the world. So that's why I chose NYU Shanghai, and that's kind of how I ended up here. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about what nobody tells you going to NYU Shanghai. So one of the biggest things that I still don't know if I like or hate is that this school is really, really small. And when I say small, I mean everyone knows each other, everyone's up in everyone's business, and there is no way around it. Like, you will not know someone by face to face. You will know who they are, but you will not know them, but you will know everything about them. You will know if they broke up with their girlfriend or if they started dating someone else. You will know if they cheated, what they said, their hopes, their dreams, their ambitions, their major by month 6. You will know everyone and their mothers. So that is either something good or something bad. For me, it was mostly good because it did feel like a community, but it was also bad because there tends to be a lot of drama even if you're trying to avoid it. So there's that. I tried to make it turn into the best situation possible and kind of make a family here, but a lot of times you will have, big conflicts just because that's human nature, and that conflict will follow you through all your 4 years, most likely. So just be aware that it's very small. If you have already committed to this school, what I recommend is to have friends. Try not to engage in drama, but you will see it's very hard to kind of avoid that at NYU Shanghai. So number 2 is living abroad is a lot harder than what you might see on social media. So on social media, you're seeing making all these new friends, eating all these new foods, going out all the time. And it's not always like that. Living abroad, you're going to be facing a lot of difficulties. Things don't obviously things don't work the same as they would in your home country. And if you have a language barrier, or if you are born in, a place where the culture is a lot different, it's going to take some getting used to. And for me, it was really fun to learn all of this stuff, especially as a Chinese born American. But a lot of times I did see people struggle with kind of, the culture change and the differences between East and West. And so that's just something that you should keep in mind if you are coming to NYU Shanghai. Number 3 is loneliness. The hardest part for me at NYU Shanghai was not the academics, not the social life, not the language, but the loneliness. I came from a comfortable background, but I did not have the resources to go home every holiday or every summer. I stayed in China most of the time. And it's kind of sad for me it was kind of sad for me to, see everyone leave every holiday and I stay behind in a city alone, right? Because it's not only the fact that you're alone in this city, but it's also the city where you have so many memories. So to be alone and to, not have people you can call up to hang out when you normally can do that every day is just always kind of a shock when it happens. And so a lot of times during winter break or summer break, I would just stay at home and, do arts and crafts, cook a bit. But it took a while for me to get comfortable with being by myself for such long periods of time, especially when I see on social media, everyone having a good time and seemingly, not missing me, right? And it sounds pathetic to hear, but I'm sure if you've been in a similar situation, you can relate. It's not about, oh my God, they're having fun without me, but it's knowing that I'm alone, I feel down, and you don't want to bother other people that you normally rely on with these burdens because they're clearly having such a good time. So keep in mind that if you are coming to NYU Shanghai, you might have to deal with being alone, and you'll have to learn to live with yourself and by yourself. And of course, I also have to acknowledge my frustrations with NYU Shanghai. NYU Shanghai is a very young school, so it doesn't have all the resources that big schools have. And one of the biggest things that I've noticed through the years is their budget. So even if you have the aspiration to, for example, start a club, or like I started a medical club at NYU. It's the first medical club there, and we were granted around $20 to spend every month. And there are also limitations on what you can buy. For example, you cannot buy food for these events, right? So $20 for a medical club is just not the most realistic budget, especially when you have all these aspirations, you have all these people that you want to reach out to, but you just don't have the money to pay for things. It's really frustrating. And another thing is that during my time at NYU Shanghai, I saw a lot of teachers being let go because they don't have the budget to, keep employing them, which is very frustrating, right? They don't pay the Chinese teachers as much as they pay the professors, which is also very annoying because, Chinese, in my view, is one of the most important classes that you take here as an international student in China. However, they don't get treated the same as other professors who honestly do less work than the Chinese professors. So that's just my take on that subject, but you will see the budgets are very low. You don't get as much for example, free stuff that you would as if you went to a huge school in the US. I just got bit. So keep that in mind. It's not something that really deterred me. You know, I didn't transfer at all, but it's definitely something that is frustrating. And a lot of the students also feel this way, but there's not really anything you can do about it. That being said, let's go into what NYU Shanghai has given me. So NYU Shanghai has not only given me the most amazing friends that a girl could ask for, but they've also given me the chance to study with people from all over the world, from different backgrounds, different cultures, different languages. And it's really amazing to be in classes with these people because everything has a story to tell and everyone has something interesting to add to the table. And personally, from my opinions, because I don't really know, but I don't think you can get that at a lot of colleges, right? So the whole like-minded individuals don't really exist because everyone has different opinions. Everyone has different, life experiences that kind of shaped how they are. So they're not wrong. They're just different. And I think that's beautiful and just an amazing thing that sets NYU aside. Another thing is that even though I have frustrations with the admin, the individual people of the faculty are some of the most inspiring and amazing and helpful people I've met. You can tell that, most of them, but you can tell that most of them are there not only because they need money, but because they value us as students and they value what we say and they respect our opinions. They don't look down on us. I feel like a lot of adults, even though we're college students, still look down at us and think we're kids, we shouldn't be disrespectful, we shouldn't be this, we shouldn't be that. But at NYU Shanghai, for the most part, they really value your curiosity, your questions. Even if you have a differing opinion than what they have, they will listen, they will respect that, and maybe they will, take that into consideration and change. And a few times I've actually gotten into not arguments with faculty, but disagreements on different things. And most of the time, instead of, being really upset about it, they actually take those ideas and kind of, try to change. And I think it's really beautiful that you can see the effort that each individual person on the faculty put in to help their students. Okay, so overall, would I recommend NYU Shanghai? I think it depends on who you are. So if you are excited by uncertainty, if you're excited by meeting people from different backgrounds and different cultures and maybe not having the same opinion as you, and if you're excited by unpredictability, then this school is 100% for you. You will have a blast. I know I did. I learned so much, but if you are the type of person that wants to meet like-minded individuals, or if you're not 100% comfortable with being alone, trying new things, pushing yourself out of that comfort zone, I think NYU Shanghai might not be the best choice for you. But I think this school genuinely has the opportunity to change your life, and I know that it's changed mine. So yeah, thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below.